Welcome to my YouTube channel. So in the today's video lecture, we are going to see how to design active band pass filter. And the filter that we are going to design is our second order filter. Okay. So in the last previous lectures, you can see that I have already designed the various filters such as the first order low pass filter and second order Butterworth low pass filter on multisim, and we have already seen its frequency response. So because in the communication lab it is very important to use the filters such as second order low pass filter or band pass filters frequently, so that we need to know how to design such filters. Okay, so in this today's lecture we will be seeing this particular band pass filter. So you can see in band pass filter, you can see that in case of band pass filter, if we want to plot the our frequency response, it will look like something like this. Okay, so on this x-axis we are having the frequencies, and onto this y-axis we are having the voltage gain. Okay, so that gain you can take either the absolute gain or you can also take the gain in dB. Fine. So whatever if you want, you can take it. Okay, so let's suppose if we have taken it to be a suppose we have taken it as a absolute gain, then you can see that in the case of band pass filter, when the frequencies is very small, okay, when we have very small frequencies, okay, that time this will not allow the signal to pass through. Okay, and the gain offered by the filter will be very small. Okay, here you can see that at this point this gain is very small. Okay, at this point the gain is very small. So whenever we have very small frequency, the gain will be very small, and when we increase the frequency further, so as soon as our frequency starts approaching towards its central frequency, okay, then its gain offered by the filter will also increase. Okay, you can see that the frequency, as we are moving to a higher side, okay, once it is reaching to a particular central frequency, okay, at this point the gain offered by the filter is maximum. Okay, and then again if we further increase the frequency, then the gain will start reducing again. Okay, it will start reducing again. So it will depend on what kind of, whether it is a first order filter or a second order filter, we can be able to get a different type of responses. For example, if it is a second order filter, then you can see this roll off factor will be more. Okay, here it is of minus 40 dB per decade roll off. Okay, and again here you can see that this roll off is here you can see it is means increasing with this plus 40 dB per decade. Okay, so there will be this roll off will be different. Okay, when it is first order filter, it will be minus 20 dB per decade. Okay, so when we increase the filter order, obviously we are going to get the more idealistic frequency response curve of your band pass filter. Fine. So here you can note down that in the case of band pass filter, whenever the frequency is too high or it is too low, then the signal will not be passed through the signal through the filter, and the gain offered by the filter will be very small. Okay, very small. Okay, and you can also see here it is written as the stop band. The stop band means here in this region of frequency, the signal is not passing through the filter, or otherwise you can say that the signal is attenuating a lot. Okay, so similarly if the frequency is very high, again it will be attenuating in this part. Okay, and then we are having a mid region. Okay, here you can see the most flat region in which at a certain point we are going to get the maximum gain. Okay, and afterwards both the sides, even if we increase the frequency or decrease the frequency, then the gain will start decreasing. Okay, so at a certain point the gain will be reduced by means by a factor of root 2. Okay, so whatever be the gain at here, that will be going to be divided by root 2, So here you will be getting a value like 0.707 AF. Okay, if it is having certain mid-band gain as AF, then here the gain will be equals to 0.707 AF. Okay, and this will be your equals to your bandwidth. Okay, if you want to calculate the 3 dB bandwidth of your band pass filter, then that will be equals to FH minus FL. Okay, that will be giving you 3 dB bandwidth. So you have to remember these things. Okay, while designing the band pass filter, we need certain parameters. The parameters are what are the means what is the central frequency of the filter that we want. Okay, so what will be the central frequency? Okay, where the gain will be maximum, right? So that mid-band gain will be maximum. So that central frequency we need to define. Then means you can say it is a specification parameters. Okay, so that specification of the filters must be there. Okay, so that we have to first decide, and then only we can design the filters, right? So let us say what is the central frequency, and after the central frequency we need to tell that what is the quality factor. Okay, one of the very important parameter while designing your band pass filter. Okay, and the next thing is what is the 3 dB bandwidth, okay, of the filter that we want. So these three parameters is very important, and based on these three parameters we are having a certain designing equation that can be used for making our circuit. Okay, so let's begin this one. Okay, so how to design this filter? To design this filter, okay, we are having certain designing equations. Okay, here you can see basically I have already designed this circuit, okay, on multisim. So here you can see our circuit of second order band pass filter. So here I have certain resistors and capacitors, certain combination of that. Okay, here I am using the op-amp 741. Okay, we have already seen this uh, means op-amp that I have already used for designing the low pass filter. Okay, so with this op-amp we have a certain connections. You can see I have used two capacitors. Okay, it is a RC filter, right? So we have the two capacitor, we are having this two resistances over here, and another resistance is connected over here. Okay, so basically it consists of three resistance. Okay, R1, R2 and R3, and we are having two capacitances C1 and C2. So this is the basic design you may find in any of the books while designing the band pass filter. Okay, and obviously we need to give the power supply to the op-amp. Okay, so that I have already provided over here. And now we have to basically calculate the values of the resistances and the capacitances. That is the more important thing. Fine. So just for the simplicity, what we have to do is we have, for example, in this case, you can follow this particular equation. Okay, I told you that these are the designing equations. Okay, and the specification parameter for designing this filter that I have taken for this case is I have taken the quality factor equals to 10, and our mid-band gain I will be taking as E naught equals to 10. Okay, and here I have not written, but my central frequency F naught is nothing but my central frequency, and that central frequency here I am taking as 10 kilohertz. Okay, so based on these three parameters, the quality factor and the mid-band gain and the central frequency F naught, we will be able to design the our filter. Fine, we can able to design our filter. Fine. So if you know the quality factor A naught and F naught, obviously you will be able to calculate the 3 dB bandwidth. Okay, so if the bandwidth is mentioned, okay, and central frequency is mentioned, then obviously you can easily calculate the quality factor. Okay, so at least three of the parameters should be known. Okay, either 3 dB bandwidth you should be known, or its central frequency should be known, or quality factor should be known, or its gain is obviously be required. So either central frequency, or out of these three, okay, at least two should be known. Okay, like central frequency, 3 dB bandwidth, and quality factor, because quality factor is actually defined with this equation. Okay, so it can be easily calculated. So in this case I am using basically three basic parameters, like quality factor I have taken as 10 and A naught is equals to 10, and center frequency I will be taking as 10 kilohertz. So you can obviously see from this, even if we take the 10 kilohertz, then the bandwidth, 3 dB bandwidth, that will come out as equals to 1 kilohertz. Okay, the 3 dB bandwidth will be equals to 1 kilohertz. Fine. So after having all these values, you can substitute these values into this equations. Okay, these are the designing equations you may find in the books, that the R1 is equals to Q upon A naught C omega naught, where omega naught is equals to 2 pi F naught. Okay, similarly R2 you can calculate the R3. Okay, and here you can see the C equivalent is defined as C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. So here I have taken for the simplicity C1 equals to C2, that will be equals to 1 nanofarad. Okay. Otherwise, you can change the values according to your need, and accordingly you can calculate these values. Okay. R1, R2, and R3. As you can see that here in this equations, fine, we can calculate these things, right? So how to calculate this? You can just substitute these values, fine. So after substituting this value, you will be able to calculate this resistance values. So after calculating the resistance value, we can design the circuits. Okay, so here you can see in this R1 you can find I have written as C, here it is C. Okay, so because I have taken C1 equals to C2 equals to C, fine. So that way I have designed this particular filter, so that's why I have written as C. So that value I have taken as equals to 1 nanofarad. So you can choose any arbitrary value. Okay, any arbitrary value you can choose, and accordingly you can calculate the values of R1, R2, and R3. But it will be simple if you keep this resistance capacitance value both as equal value. Okay, so after having this, you can see we have designed this filter. Okay, we have just substituted all these values whatever we have calculated theoretically, and then we need to connect the uh, function generator to get the frequency response. Okay, so as I told you in my previous lectures also, that to get the frequency response we need to vary the frequency from the function generator. We have to keep its amplitude to be a constant. Okay, as you can see, we have to keep varying the frequency. We have to keep the input amplitude peak to peak value should be a constant, and then we have to observe the output onto the oscilloscope. Okay, so here I have to bring the oscilloscope. You just go to this instrument panel, and here you can find the oscilloscope. You can take the oscilloscope and we can connect the oscilloscope over here. Okay, so we need to connect the ground also. Just you copy it and you can paste it over here, and then it will be connected. Fine. So we have to vary the frequency as per our table. Okay, so you see this table, because this filter has been designed for central frequency equals to 10 kilohertz. Okay, and the bandwidth 3 dB bandwidth is equals to 1 kilohertz. Okay, I can start my frequency from 5 kilohertz. Okay, even you can start with the 1 kilohertz, 2 kilohertz. Okay, that will give you more data, but if you start the experiment from 5 kilohertz, then it will be sufficient to plot the frequency response curve. Okay, and with this step size, okay, 5 kilohertz, 6, 7, 8, then 8.5, 8.6, 8.65. I told you that actually theoretically we are designing this filter for 10 kilohertz. Okay, but once we get the frequency response curve, okay, we will be able to see whether we are actually getting the result or not. Okay, so based on these values you have to vary the your frequency. Okay, and then we have to obtain the V output peak to peak value. Okay, so just go back and we have to start this from 5 kilohertz. Okay, we have to start with the 5 kilohertz. Our amplitude will be 500 millivolt. Okay, peak value, so its peak to peak value will become 1 volt. Okay, so that value has to be a constant. Okay, so when we start this one, okay, we can run this. Okay, so after executing, we have to double click this one, and then we have to properly adjust the time base. Okay, time scale, and again we have to adjust our voltage sensitivity. Okay, so that our waveform will be visible properly. Okay, and now the waveform is visible over here, so we can stop it, we can measure the value. Okay, or otherwise I told you in the last lecture that we can also use the voltage probe. Okay, so you can take the voltage probe over here. Okay, and here you can connect so that it will directly give you the peak to peak value results. Okay, so here I have connected the PR1, this is a probe one. So let's see, just connect this one to the input side. Okay, here, and I will connect another probe to this side. Okay, so I am interested in the V output peak to peak. Fine, so just to connect it over here. Now if you execute it, okay, we'll find that this is 1 volt peak to peak almost, and this value is 0.717 volt. So we have to note down this result. Okay, so if you go to this Excel sheet, I have already noted down this is 0.717. Similarly, you have to vary the value 6 kilohertz, 7 kilohertz. Frequency should be changed. Okay, so just go back again, you just make it 6 kilohertz. Then again, you have to execute it. You will get this value 1.06. Okay, so note down this value again in the table. So it is 1.06. Similarly, you have to keep varying these values, okay, of frequencies. So now I have already done this experiment. You can see I have taken this different frequency values. So I'm just trying to show you some results. Okay, so for example, if I take like 9 kilohertz, this is 8.5, 8.6, 8.65, 8.7. All these results you have to perform and you have to obtain this data. Okay, so let's suppose if I go to the 9 kilohertz directly, I'm just going directly to the 9 kilohertz. Okay, so once you will go to the 9 kilohertz, then you can see this value is 9.52. Okay, 9.52 millivolt. Here if you want to measure, you can properly select this one. Okay, you have to properly select this one, so that you will be able to see the waveform. Fine, so now it is coming as 9.52. So you again note it down. Okay, I have already noted it down. It is 9.52. Similarly, we have to keep varying the frequency as per this step size, and then we can go maximum up to 14 kilohertz. Okay, here you can see it is 14 kilohertz. So you can see the last result. Okay, 14 kilohertz here, kilohertz. Okay, after running this one, you will be getting this value is equals to 1.02 volt. Okay, so here I am getting it as 1.02. Now after completing this experiment, you have to verify all this data. Okay, after verifying this results, V output peak to peak. So after getting this V output peak to peak, we have to calculate the gain then. Okay, so we have to calculate the gain. So this is our absolute gain, which is nothing but your V output peak to peak divided by the V input peak to peak, because it is a constant. Whatever be the value of V output peak to peak will be becoming your gain. Okay, so after that you can calculate the gain in 3 dB. Okay, and if you wish, then you can plot the frequency response plot. Okay, so today I will be plotting the frequency response curve with respect to frequency and this absolute gain. Okay, no doubt you can take the gain in 3 dB. There is no difference. Okay, you can take it. Fine. So just for the today's explanation, because in the previous two lectures, while designing the low pass filter, I have plotted the frequency response curve with respect to gain in dB. Okay, so there will be no harm if you even take the absolute gain. Fine. So to plot the frequency response plot, you have to select the frequency values here. Then again, you have to select the gain values. Okay. So after selecting all this, you have to go to the insert, and then here you have to go to this uh, charts. Okay, and here you can plot this curve. Fine. So this is our frequency response of our band pass filter that we have designed. Okay, so here you can see that here the at when the frequency is very low. Okay, when the frequency is very low, then the gain offered by the filter is very small. Okay, the gain offered by the filter is very small. Okay, even if you reduce it further, for example 4 kilohertz, 3 kilohertz, and so it will become very small. This value will become very small. Here again it will become very small. Okay, so at a pass band, okay, this is our pass band. Here we have the central frequency. So you can see even from the table or from this graph, okay, this maximum gain that we are obtaining is equals to 9.52. Here you can see that we are getting the maximum gain, we are getting it as 9.52. Okay, so either you can choose 9 kilohertz or 9.1 kilohertz, or in between you may be getting a certain high value, okay, of the gain, okay, maybe between 9 and 9.1. So you can either say it is 9 kilohertz is the central frequency, or 9.1, or somewhere in between, means it may be 9050 hertz or so. Okay, so that will become your maximum gain value. Okay, so here you can send it is 9.52, or that gain may go to 9.8 or 9.9, even if you can check it out from this uh, multisim. Okay, so let us suppose if I make it 9 point something, like when I have already chosen it to be 9.1. So 9.05 if you make, then you can test it. Okay, uh, then we are getting something over here. Okay, let's see. See, I think it has changed, so just let me stop it. So once you will make it kilohertz, okay, and then 9.5, now you can stop it and you can just again execute it. Okay, so it is 9050 hertz, so you can see it is 9.58. So we are getting the maximum gain is approximately 9.58 or 9.6, though we have designed this filter for mid-band gain equals to 10. This is very important to understand that theoretically the equations that we have used, that equations theoretically will give you a not equals to 10, but when you are designing the filter, means using these theoretical values, we are not actually getting the actual results. Okay, a little bit deviation in that you may get. Okay, similarly, one more thing that we can check it out here is, though we have designed the filter for central frequency equals to 10 kilohertz. Okay, so if not, we have chosen as the 10 kilohertz. Okay, in this designing equation, but the results that we have obtained is around 9.1 kilohertz or 9 kilohertz. Okay, similarly, you can also calculate the 3 dB bandwidth. Okay, so that can be calculated here. Okay, so you can see that the maximum gain that we have got is 9.58 or 56. Okay, so if you multiply it with this 0.707, then that value of the gain will be equals to somewhere around 6.73 or 74. Okay, so that is coming out as 8.65 kilohertz. Okay, that's why I have taken this reading. Okay, 8.65 kilohertz, we are getting the gain as equals to 6.72. Okay, similarly we are getting another value at 9.52. Okay, so if you take the difference of this two, you will be finding that the 3 dB gain, 3 dB bandwidth of this filter is coming out as somewhere around 900 hertz. Okay, rather than coming as 1 kilohertz, it is coming as 900 hertz. Okay, so that even you can identify with this curve. Okay, so that 3 dB gain, 3 dB bandwidth is also not actually meeting the specification, but a little bit error you can say, or a little bit deviation from the defined specification we are getting in this experiment. Fine. So you can also change this axis. Okay, as I told you that the axes are generally we are taking in the form of like, if you want axis should be in the logarithmic scale, so you can change it. Okay, you can click onto this, and then you will get the format axis. You have to make it logarithmic scale. Okay, so after doing this, you will be getting this type of band pass frequency response of the field. Okay, so I hope this discussion must be clear. You must be able to design the filter based on this designing equation. You remember this equation, it is very important equation. And you remember that in the communication lab, when I will discuss the further experiments, this equation is very important. And accordingly, we have to keep on designing the different filters with the different central frequency requirements. It may be 10 kilohertz, it may be 20 kilohertz. Okay, and based on this I have to design, or we have to design our all other experiments. So I hope this experiment must be clear. If you have any query, you can please send your queries. You can drop your queries to the chat box. Okay, in the comment box. Okay, then I will be explaining you if anything requires further. So thanks for watching. I will be coming up with the next lecture. Thank you for watching.